Tigercast fans, we've opened up the Tigercast Talkback line. We opened up the lines post the North Melbourne game to get your voicemail messages, to get your thoughts on the Kangaroos game. It's probably the most angst I've seen amongst our supporters for quite some time. I really do feel like that we all thought this was a game we should have, at least won, or at a minimum been really close to winning like we were the first time. And I just really got the sense of a lot of disappointment from a large chunk of the supporter base. And I thought, well, let's open up the lines to get everyone's thoughts and we can have a chat about it. It's your chance to vent and to get something off your chest, to ask questions, whatever it might be. So initially, I just want to give a big thanks to everybody who did send through some voicemails on it. I appreciate it. And with that said, let's get stuck into it.
Hi, Michael's Daniel here. Just wanted to say, pretty disappointed after that game today. I kind of did expect to lose, but probably not the way we did. And the effort was obviously pretty much non-existent through the middle part of that game. North Midfield got well on top of us, and
They did.
And you could just sort of see today that the midfielders they've recruited over the last few years have sort of came to fruition today. And they belted us. And look, I'm quite realistic of where we're at, and obviously they're ahead of us in that department. But just need to ask questions of where it's all gone wrong the last few years. We've gone from a premiership side to cellar dwellers, and teams that were contending around us when we were winning our flags and stuff. They're still contending now and still very competitive. Just need to know why that has happened so quickly and why these other teams, especially like Geelong, Collingwood, they're still able to get the best out of their older players, and our ones have either all retired or cooked. So, just would love to get some more answers from the club or from other people's perspective in that regard.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I know we all like to get stuck in and shit can Geelong for various things, but honestly, if you take all the banter aside, they're one of the teams that have done it really well for a long period of time. They very, very rarely drop off outside the eight. They're still always thereabouts. And look, yes, I know they didn't have the sustained ultimate success like what we had, but they're thereabouts and they don't really tail away, even though the running joke is always about the age of their list. But to your point, their older guys perform well, and as have like your Pendleburys and side bottoms for Collingwood. I think if I was to put my best guess forward about where it went wrong or where things changed, I just think a lot of it stems back to, weirdly enough, our success from 2017 to 2020, where the team was going so well that I guess it's easy to get caught up in just running with what's working and keep the momentum going. You're red hot, you're obliterating sides. But then sometimes if you do that too much, you sort of maybe forget to inject a bit of youth every now and then and find that blend to keep these kids progressing. And I just think with some of the players we've had come through, we just didn't give them early enough exposure to develop them early enough. And now they're kind of starting to do it now. And I guess when you look at our midfield, for example, back then, when you're talking about Cochin, Dusty, Edwards, Bolton, it's difficult for then someone like a Seth Campbell or a Tyler Sonsie or someone like that who may have overlapped briefly with those guys to squeeze their way in to that type of midfield. And I think that's where the problem probably stems from, to be honest, that we just didn't do a good enough job at blooding other youngsters that were coming through. Like Sam Banks took a while to get some games. Ben Miller took a while to get some games. We just didn't, and I know there's some of them are coming good now, but they could have been a bit further advanced at this moment in time had we managed that part of it a little bit differently. And maybe that's something we'll learn from in the future, but it's definitely something that other clubs have done better than us. And I think the other thing that, if I use Geelong again as another example, they've picked their mark and targeted some really good free agents and players like that too to fill the void, which is something that we need to do in this off season to try and fill some age gap in our profile. But some interesting observations, and the midfield got obliterated, and it's something we have to definitely address next year. Next one through from Corey.
Yeah, g'day. I don't know how we're going to inject a lot of speed into our midfield with the two picks. There's not a lot of fast talent in the draft, but my concern is that we are a really slow team and we got exposed today.
We did.
It's amazing when there's adrenaline and the teams are playing with momentum and confidence that speed seems to be quicker, but we just have no one we can inject into the team that can really turn things around. Morris has a go, and Morris is getting better. But, I'm just concerned about our midfield moving forward.
Yeah, Coy, I mean, I actually think the speed's already there within the team. We just don't use it in that position. I mean, you spoke about Morris. Tash Houghton's got some speed. Seth Campbell's got some speed. So they would be my 3 starting points as the players to mix into the midfield more. Now, some of those players have received some more centre bounces, but I still think it's weighted and the mix is still not right. There was even a couple of times on the weekend where Seth Campbell actually stopped North Melbourne from breaking away with the clearance because he was able to keep up with the player who was about to get the next possession, which the other 3 weren't able to do previously. So there's definitely some merit in playing him there. In terms of draftees for this year, I mean, I really like the look of Josh Lindsay, but he's probably more of a halfback flanker to start with, an elite ball user. And we've obviously seen Sam Grill play in our VFL team, who does have a bit of speed, which could be someone. But again, someone like Sam Grill won't impact the midfield heavily next year, maybe more the year after. Sam Lawler comes back in, but he's not, as much as he's going to be a gun, he's not blessed with speed. Kane McAuliffe is explosive off the first few steps, but not blistering speed, if you want to call it that. So I do get your point. And maybe that's where getting someone like a Roses maybe comes into play and helps reshape things a little bit. I don't know. They're going to have to be a little bit creative, I think, but I definitely understand the concerns. So we'll skip to the next
Chris,
one.
Where do we start? I thought the intensity was there for the first 10 minutes.
Agree.
But from then on till half time, it was really only inaccuracy that kept us in it.
Yeah.
Third quarter, I thought that we had all the play early on, but what so often happens, an easy miss, this time by Lynch, and the boys dropped their heads.
Spot on.
I also thought not tagging Sheasel reached embarrassing levels. I will say it's been a long season for the boys as a defence, and our injury list is once again massive. Moving forward, we need an injection of speed in the middle. I think most of us can see that. But I'm also thinking a Hinkley-type coach to be a mentor for Uze wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. What's your thoughts on that?
Interesting. It's funny that we are seeing a trend in people acknowledging and identifying we need speed in the midfield, which is no secret. To your Tom Lynch point, I think I said the exact same thing on the live call. I really loved Lynch's game. I thought he was really prominent in that first half with his contested marking, and he kicked some goals that he maybe wouldn't have been expected to kick and then missed some easier ones. But that moment in time that you're speaking of, I 100% agree that the start of that third quarter, because we were only like 11 points down at that stage, I believe, and we were dominating, as you said, the play for that part of the third quarter. He takes the mark or whatever, free kick, whatever it was, 25 out, not much of an angle. And I said that this is the goal he needs to kick. This should be regulation, key forward, straight through the middle, no nonsense. But he's at risk of missing. And sure enough, he missed. And you could tell, you're spot on that everyone got deflated. North Melbourne go down with the next play, bang, goal, bang, another goal, and then the floodgates open. It just took the life out of the team. And it's happened so much this year. We have to find a way to get past it and to get better at our conversions. Like, they have to be non-negotiables. We can't be missing those shots for goal. As for the Ken Hinkley part for like a mentor, it's something I've spoken about as well. It's not the worst idea to get an experienced head next to and around Adam Uze. I know Ben Rutten's there, but maybe to get someone a bit more experienced again, who's obviously had a lot more experience and exposure at finals level and things like that. I guess the only reservation I have with that kind of setup is it can really then create some really bad narratives and conversations externally that, let's say we lose the first 5 or 6 games next year, hypothetically, all of a sudden, all the noise is about, Hinkley's coming for Uze's job, and it just creates a lot of shit in that space. So as a club, you'd want to make sure that, number one, Hinkley doesn't want to be a senior coach, and there's an understanding of what the role is and how it all works. But if that all played out okay, I think he could be a really good sounding board for Uze. But I actually think that Hinkley might be a better chance to end up at Carlton with his relationship with Voss. But your point remains a really solid one, and I think it might be something we do look at, depending on soft cap space as well, I guess, is the other issue. But it's a good shout. Jim, we've got Jim up next.
G'day, Michaels and the Tigercast crew. Look, I do find it curious that we didn't decide to put a tag on Sheasel at half-time, given that by then he had already amounted 26 disposals. I'm sure we would have thought, I'm sure Ooze and the coaching staff knew that was just going to continue unless we made a change. But, regardless, we didn't, and he got the equal VFL AFL record in disposals. But that's fine, whatever. Good on you, North. Got the points. If anything, means we most likely won't jump Essendon now. I know it was going to be a long shot anyway, given their percentage was higher than ours, but still, I think that makes that all the more harder. And I don't really see North beating the Crows, so I don't know. Touch wood. I don't want to jinx us, but it kind of looks like picks 2 and 3 are a lock now. And look, we've got 5 wins for the year. Avoided the spoon. It's been a really good year. If you look at it,
agree,
with like a half glass full kind of attitude, I think it's been a great year. So go Tigers. Good luck, Blair. Let's go on to the draft.
Good luck. I love it. Good work, Jim. You make some really good points there. I want to touch on the last one first. And we said this on the Monday night show, that as much as the North Melbourne game was shit and frustrating and really annoying to watch, given our expectations heading into that game, there may be some more pain to come this week against Geelong, and we obviously lost against St Kilda where we maybe should have won. I think we can be angry and frustrated at those games, and I still think we should also be equally as proud, satisfied, happy, whatever word you want to use, with the season in totality. So I don't want some of these last segments of games to override what we actually did achieve in the season. And I know it wasn't shooting the lights out, but shit, we won 5 games, like you said, which is more than double what we did last year, when no one really expected us to get close to that. And we have seen some good green shoots along the way. We have seen some good signs of the game plan or the ball movement, and we just don't see it for long enough yet. But most reasonable supporters and people will understand that we're not going to see it frequently enough yet. That's something that will happen in the next coming years. But I think we've seen enough to suggest that when the ball's played in a Richmond way, that we're moving the ball the way we want to move it, that it looks good, it's effective. And we've obviously got a lot to tidy up in the midfield, and especially the forward half too, with the inexperience factor. We've got to get them up to speed and run some better patterns and not just stand there with your arm up. But no, I think overall the year's been a tick. There's one more box to tick, and that's to not lose by 100 points. And the Geelong game worries me. On to the non-tag of Sheasel. Yeah, it was a bit of a head-scratcher, wasn't it? Not tagging Sheasel at half-time. I guess they must have just had thoughts or data that suggested that even though he was getting disposals, I don't know, that we weren't still doing, I don't know. I can't even think of, in the last quarter I can understand because we kicked 6 goals. So he might be getting 10 touches. They were spoon-feeding him by then, but we still kicked some goals. So it's like, okay, we take the good with the bad. The third quarter, though, was the one that stumps me because they kicked 8 goals and smashed us. I just really thought that we maybe should have tried to tighten up then. And what's probably more frustrating is not only did Sheasel get 54, but we let another player, LDU, get 40. So to have both of them get numbers like that is enormous. And, maybe the coaches want the players to go head to head and learn structures and learn whatever. There's probably some rationale or method behind it from their end that maybe won't make sense to us now, but maybe it will in 5 years' time. Who knows? It's a question I'd love to get the chance to ask the club. Or Uze in particular. But yeah, it's an interesting observation. But I appreciate your voicemail there, Jim. So that's it. That's it for Tigercast Talkback for this week. A massive thanks to everybody who sent through some messages. Not the greatest of games against the Kangaroos, but we get a chance next week, round 24. This week, should I say, round 24, to hopefully, as Tom Lynch said post-game, throw the kitchen sink at Geelong. Just show us some solid effort and competitiveness for 4 quarters. Show us some good ball movement. Show us a bit of a different variation in the centre bounce, and I think we'll walk away hopefully somewhat happy, and let's just do the best we can and finish the season off. So Thank you again to everybody for tonight, and keep an eye out for the link for more topics coming down the pipeline in the future where you can leave your thoughts on voicemail. And until next time, go Tigers.